Fall. During the fall, my lips always get chapped, man. I hate that, man. Anyways, so I finally got issue 4 of this Batman Reptilian from DC's Black Label. I want to say they call it the Black Label because it's kind of like it's more mature. They got Garth Ennis, who's an incredible writer, incredible comic book writer. He had a fantastic stretch where he wrote the Frank Castle character, aka the Punisher. Had a crazy run with that. I wouldn't suggest you read that unless you are old enough to read that. It was fantastic, very graphic, very violent, but it's the Punisher. You know, he's doling out punishment to bad guys. You know what it is. Yeah, he had a fantastic run with that. He had a classic that he made a while back called The Preacher. Again, very graphic for young adults and up. They had a show of it on AMC that I really enjoyed. You know what I'm saying? I wish it didn't end as quickly as it did. Well, maybe it did. You know, it had like 4 seasons. It had a great run. You know, usually with shows you can't expect that. Even if a show's good, you really can't expect it to be on no longer than 4 seasons. Usually, if a show's on for that long, that means it's a super success. Um, you know, yeah. But anyways, to my point, Reptilian. I finally got this. It came out on the 28th, I believe. I had the option to get it, and I had to get it right away. Um, Let me show y'all this. I don't know if I just showed y'all the picture, but yeah, it's crazy. Batman Reptilian. Finally seen it. Finally got it, and it came out right around the perfect time. You know, perfect timing because we know it's Halloween. You know what I'm saying? Happy Halloween to everyone out there. You know what I'm saying? Um, just want to get that out the way. But yeah, this was really good. I don't want to spoil anything, but in the earlier issues between 1 and 3, um, you know, it says Batman Reptilian. You expect it. You expect the culprit, um, you know, to just be the Killer Croc, right? Killer Croc, because it says Reptilian. It's like, okay, it has to do with the Killer Croc, but you know, Garth Ennis, I was like, no, there's got to be a spin to it because Garth Ennis wrote it, right? And there is a spin. There is a spin. The you know, I should probably rewind back. In this series, Batman Reptilian, there is a monster that is basically wreaking havoc on all of Batman's villain catalog. Basically, he's ripping them to shreds. You know, physically. You know what I mean? Like really going to town on these guys, and you know he's like tearing them open, and you know sending them to the hospital. You know most of his catalog is, well, his main catalog is damn near dead. Batman's, and you know it is really, it's really scary in a way. You know what I'm saying? Because especially with the visuals, I wasn't really like the art style was really different, you know what I'm saying? But I'm starting to appreciate it because it lends itself to the dark tone of Garth Ennis' writing. You know, if you know his writing, it's very, you know what I'm saying, it's very grounded in reality. It's kind of more no holds bars, you know, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So the tone, the look of it definitely matched his words, and I thought that was excellent. But you know, this monster is just tearing people to shreds, and I thought it was Killer Croc. And I don't want to give too much away, but I kind of did right there. But it's not Killer Croc. You know, Batman at this point, he is in the sewer trying to figure out if in fact it is Killer Croc, and you know, he finds out it isn't. And what he finds instead, look, it is crazy. You know, honestly, we see the monster. And it actually reminds me of this '80s movie I seen that I just loved. that it was, and it was a crappy movie when it received crappy reviews when it came out, but like, like some horror movies, it ended up being a cult classic. Even some of the, you know, well, I don't know. I don't want to say I don't know if Jason was well received or, I know Freddy Krueger was well received when it first came out, but sometimes a lot of horror movies, people don't catch on right away. It takes a while for it to catch fire. Just like Trick or Treat, which is my favorite Halloween movie. Which I didn't even know about when it first came out, and I was like, I remember I watched that with my wife, and I was like, how did I not hear about this movie? It came out 2000 and I want to say that movie came out like 2008 or something, 2006, 2008, between 2006 2008. There was a lot of crazy stuff going on between that time though, so I kind of makes sense why I didn't remember, why I didn't have any idea that came out. But that movie it wasn't well received when it came out, and now it has like the snowball effect of people, more people just going to this genre, what I'm saying, this subculture, and building it up. you know there was a time like in the 80s, early 80s, where horror wasn't as big as it is now, and now it's on its own legs now completely. um, but what was my point? Yeah, this monster reminds me of this movie that I saw called The Thing. And The Thing wasn't well received, when it first came out. But, through time it became a cult classic, and which is fantastic, because a lot of people think horror movie, a lot of people judge horror movies with like Shakespearean, like it's supposed, like it doesn't add up to like a Shakespearean, experience of a great cinematic experience. It's not sophisticated, and they got their nose up. Look, I love horror movies, man. It's a beautiful genre, but this character, he looks like something from The Thing, man, which is just it's crazy, man. I'm interested to see what happens next, man, because it it ends on a cliffhanger. It ends on a cliffhanger, and I'm pretty sure it's not gonna have a happy ending. There's no way this is gonna have a happy ending. So it kind of leaves you in limbo, trying to figure out, okay, what's gonna happen next. It's like a calm. It's almost like a calm before the storm. Um, so it's gonna be really exciting. But Batman did his detective work, and this dude, man, Batman just has balls of steel, man. Cause he's always going head first into danger. Like he's looking in the sewer trying to find what's going on. He's like, man, the creature has to be down here, and he's doing his detective thing, and he's looking through. It's really cool, man. You know what I mean? It's you're going with Batman, and you're like, all right, my guy Batman's with me. We good. You know what I'm saying? What's going on here? So it's a really good series so far, man. It's a really good series. I would probably give this one. I'd probably rate this like a strong. I'd probably give this one by itself a strong 8 out of 10. Honestly, a strong 8 out of 10, because that last bit of the comic book, Garth Ennis really started explaining how the monster the monster possibly came to be. You know what I'm saying? In a very plausible way. You know, yeah, and it also kind of reminded me of just the way that he was describing how, you know, the effects of chemicals, right? The effects of chemicals on, it kind of made me think like, like the evil scientists, messing around with the chemicals, and then, it affects monster. I mean, it affects the people, and then the people end up having like a monster baby. Look, I'm giving it away. You know, like It's Alive. There was an old movie. I'm not expecting you guys to even know it, but it's like it deals with the whole concept of what happens if there's the civilization is exposed to a chemical and they don't know it, and then all of a sudden the babies come out as monsters, the monster looking. Like it really plays on that fear. And I was like, sheesh. I mean, yeah, I'm not even really, am I really giving it away? I mean, look at this. They got a baby, and then they got the radiation thing, and then they got the baby in the sludge. Like, that's creepy. You know what I'm saying? I'm acting like I'm like trying to tiptoe around it, but no, this just punches you right in the face, and you see a baby in sludge. It's crazy. It's creepy. It did its job. It was supposed to be creepy. It supplied the creepy. Once you see the monster in this, you're like, holy shit. How is Batman going to do his Batman thing and prevail out of this situation? I don't know, but we'll see. I already pre-ordered the fifth one. I think it ends in the fifth one, honestly. So I think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be a happy ending. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be a happy ending, but it's fantastic though.